shirts are just kind of secondary. They're like part of the vintage collection.
And where do you get the wares?
Flea markets, estate sales, mainly. You got to go stand in line early in the morning. You got to scour the internet for, various try to see on the photographs of these auction sites if you're gonna even like the kind of merchandise that you think they might have, because there's 10 or 20 estate sales you can see every weekend. So you have to pick and choose something to invest your time in. You might go out and stand in line for 2 hours and there could be nothing. And the person in front of you got their armload of clothes that you would have wanted to buy. So that kind of thing is very fascinating. You got to do some light work, and you got to get lucky, and you got to be really tenacious, and then you got to enjoy it. Otherwise, it's a pain in the ass standing.
And those estate sales are usually like early in the morning weekends?
They're every day of the week.
Okay.
Early morning. Yeah. Estatesales.net if you really want to know. If you want to see that kind of marketplace, you could even see it online. It's very interesting. And that's where somebody dies and the contents of the house go up for sale. It's almost always been picked over by the family first, and then whatever. The highest quality stuff is gone or spoken for, but everything else across the spectrum of a person's life is available. So you can look in there. It's when people didn't want to clean out the medicine chest. The medicine cabinets have all got the medicine in it. The closets have the 300 pairs of socks. And, you see all people's manias reflected in how much stuff they collected. Right. Which is, to me, is completely fascinating.
Yeah.
Something I'd rather do, maybe even more than this, is explore those manias, but it's not lucrative.
I mean, that's what sort of becomes of a flea market. You have people's unwanted stuff eventually comes here, especially the older stuff.
Yes. Yeah, and it's unwanted, so it has that unwanted energy that you got to switch around and make it a wanted energy, if you will, if you believe in that. It's endlessly fascinating. Plus, it's all materially based. So it's the stuff of everyday life, charged with all kinds of life and meaning and past history. And then it all comes here and it's kind of neutralized by being in this market. And then it all comes down to price. Right. And that's really weird too. Right. Because all the stories come down to the moment of whether it's worth $20.
Right. So how many different estate sales do you think all this stuff is from? Do you usually clean out 5 sales worth of stuff pretty quickly, or do you think that this could be stuff that you got in maybe 2009, 2010 even?
It's not that old, no. It's in the last year probably.
Okay.
It's a year's worth of estate sales.
And that would be
once a week.
So maybe about 50. The last 50 sales you've been to?
Call it 30 maybe. Because yeah.
Seems about right.
But yeah, it's a mix, and we churn it through. We don't like to keep the old stuff, and you've got to give that up. You give it back to the thrift stores,
Right.
And then because there's always stuff coming in. There's endless supply of things. Really. The world is vast.
So you've already talked about the key jewelry, so that's definitely something you keep your eye out for at these estate sales. Is there anything else in particular that you tend to have your eye on that you think most people wouldn't?
That most people wouldn't?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, it's funny because we're not tenacious enough to start at 5 in the morning, like the people who are first in line. So we're normally, as early as we can get out, we're number 30 or 40 in line. So when we get into the estate sale, all of the quote best stuff is taken, right? So our specialty is to make money out of the stuff that nobody else wanted up to that point. So to answer your question, it's a broad range of things that look unwanted, but you have a certain something to them. Or they can be fixed. A lot of stuff is broken. I'm a good fixer. My wife is an expert fixer. So dresses that are torn, she can take a piece out and put it over here and make it look good. So a lot of this stuff has to be worked on. It's not like you just take it from one place to another and make a bunch of money. There's a lot of care and selection and choosing. So you get a lot of it's rescuing things, really.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, and a lot of people's houses are completely friggin' filthy. They're just disgustingly, darkly, grossly dirty. Especially with clothes. Like you find clothes that it's dark in there. You buy clothes and you buy a whole pile of clothes and you get them home and you can't stand the smell of them, or they're all got this greasiness to them that is really kind of creepy. You know, we've occasionally thrown away whole batches of stuff that just we were insane to have bought, you know, because they were so gross. We didn't notice it in the fervor of like buying stuff, which is our mania, you know. Because it is all the people here are passionate about something that they're making or finding or collecting, which is how they ended up here in the first place. You don't just fall into this by accident somehow, you know what I mean? You have to be of the mind to want to go out and collect all this stuff. So it's an unusual kind of person that ends up here.
And why do you think you became that sort of person?
Well, what it is that you're the collector type of person who tries to make good out of the fact that you love buying or you love collecting. So you take the collection and then you start selling it. And that was the turning point, like when you start coming to the flea market regularly to sell, is when you buy so that you can sell. No, you sell so you can buy. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You sell so that you're allowed to be a shopper.
Right.
So we're professional shoppers, which is, people would kill to be professional shoppers.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we're a very little narrow smidgen of a professional shopper, but that's what we do. You know, you shop and you make it, you got to turn a profit. You got to be a good shopper.
And that's like one of the most interesting part of markets, I think, that you're always on the lookout for the low buy and the high sell.
Yeah, it's margin is what it is. I mean, groceries, you spoke about the fish market. I don't know what fish market margins are, but like grocery store margins are like 1.5% or something. So they sell $1 million and they make 100,000. It's just like, it's insane. Or less than that. I don't know what I don't know what the numbers are, but
they're
they
like
have
that.
to massive volume, you know. We don't have the luxury of massive volume, so our markup has to be like accordingly higher.
And you rely on people that are looking for very specific things, or at least a category of things.
Yeah, I mean, the clothing caters to independent-minded women who see the value in these sort of quirky pieces. This kind of clothing collection is unusual in that it's not all one period, for example. Like a lot of people have all like Patagonia, or they have like all like Pendleton feeling, or 50s. This is like 90s to 40s. Hi.
Oh, hi.
That's okay.
No, you can go ahead.
You're fine. We're just talking about markets in general, like what
Yeah.
markets
Oh,
are.
I thought he was filming.
He is
You are.
filming.
Yeah, but
If you don't
okay.
want
But
to
it's
be
good.
in filming, then
then I can stop filming.
Well,
okay.
if you hit big, just
Just lay them.
25 Clinton. I know right there.
Oh yeah. How are you today?
I'm good.
I'm glad you came out.
Thank you. And I'm surprised you're out.
We're surprised too. She's very surprised and not a little frustrated. Anyway, this collection is also eclectic. It spans all kinds of like styles, and so it's very what's contemporary now across the board. It's not like one kind of like rockabilly, you know, hipster, this or that. It's,
Right.
It's very elegant.
Yeah.
Very feminine. So my wife is known for that kind of clothing collection.
So when you guys have been selling at the flea market, you've always been kind of into that idea of women's clothing that has kind of spanned eras and styles.
Yes. Yeah, totally. We're not. It has to just look good. It doesn't matter what it is or where it comes from. And then they have to look good together.
I think that's a good flea market philosophy for selling and buying clothes.
It has to look good,
Yeah.
or it has to span genres.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a whole. This could represent a whole woman's wardrobe, basically. Like you could buy the whole collection and wear it confidently, like for the next 2 years, and you would be in style. And the lengths of the stuff would be in style because a lot of them have been made a certain length by my wife, like tweaked that little bit. It's like buying an old car, having it repainted, tuning up the engine, and getting like $8,000 for it.
Maybe even like putting in a modern engine, that sort of idea, because
Yeah, sure.
it's got modern hemming, modern length, modern, whatever, but they're old clothes, the old material
Yes.
from other times.
So a lot of it's been updated, and you don't know it, but people, they can feel it. You know, we don't tell them. We don't be like, oh, this one I modified. But they're like, ooh, that looks like that thing I saw in blah blah blah. And it does look like that because it's been shortened to look like that. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yes, my dear.
Yes. Okay. I like this piece here.
You don't want to buy it or try it on or what?
I gotta run to the farmer's market real fast to drop off my compost, but
Which piece do you want inside?
this one.